Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Level Grinding. It is once again Drew here with my good friend Robin. What's going on, my friend?
Not much, living the dream.
Oh, it's somebody's dream. I tell them to work all the time, right? I work.
It's a bad dream. But it's
That's a dream. I work in the restaurant industry now, and when I come in, they come up to the counter. I'm like, "Hey, how we doing today?" They're like, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm living the dream. If it gets any better than this, please don't let me know." That's how I say it every time. And
mine is always living the dream.
The old people laugh knowingly, and the middle-aged people like myself sigh dejectedly knowingly. Oh man. All right, so we're gonna do what you playing a little later. We got a little bit of news. This past weekend was the Sony State of Play, and I am a Sony man. I'm a PlayStation guy all the way through. If there is a console war, Sony won it. It wasn't a console war, it was a console massacre. Xbox got murdered. Xbox admitted they got murdered. And like we were saying the other day between shows, Nintendo is basically the Oliver Twist of the console world now. How far the mighty have fallen. Please, sir, may they have another game. So you got the notes for the State of Play because you watch the news and I sleep most of the time. So hit us with that and we'll discuss the items one by one as you go down.
Before we get into the State of Play, I do want to get in now that you mentioned Microsoft and Nintendo. Microsoft and Nintendo have come to a deal regarding Activision's Call of Duty series, where Nintendo will continue to receive access for it. PlayStation didn't want to participate because the terms weren't anything that was favorable to them, so PlayStation has stepped away from it.
I could not be happier. Look, guys, you can like whatever games you like, right? My roommate here likes Final Fantasy VI. If you listened to that episode, you understand that I can love you in spite of your gaming tastes. But I could not be happier about Call of Duty players no longer from this point forward being able to spam me with game invites for a game I will never buy. Thank you, Microsoft, for being assholes. I'm not going to have this mode. I'm not going to have this attitude when the new Bethesda titles drop. But I am so glad that we're amicably separating from the Call of Duty crowd. But yeah, Microsoft, and if you're playing Call of Duty on a Switch, do you need a hug? What's happening?
I mean, you can hook it up to the TV.
You can, but it's still on the Joy-Cons. Do you need a hug? Do they need a hug?
I think everyone needs a hug.
Very big. I give great hugs. If you're playing Call of Duty on a Switch, TV or no TV, I'm sorry, buddy. All right, hit us with that State of Play.
All right, so the State of Play was really heavy in the VR because Sony launched their PSVR 2 last week.
Yeah.
Sony kicked off the showcase with 5 new VR titles, starting with Into the Foglands. Just the Foglands. It's an intriguing Western Gothic kind of game in the style of like Evil West and Dark Watch. Like, it's a game where you're like, it started out, there's this weird card dealer guy in the trailer, and you have to use your time to master guns and other tools, take down the monsters that appear. There's like zombie beings on board as well as like eldritch entities, and it's a VR game, so I was at the mercy of the person who was controlling it and where they wanted to look, so I couldn't get too much of an in-depth thing. But
yeah, I mean, that is pretty hard to get solid grips on. Like, you can't really explore a VR title on a trailer. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Then there was a game called Green Hell VR. It's a survival game that's in VR where you're surviving in a danger-filled jungle. You have to explore your surroundings, build things with your tools, and face down a bunch of animals and uncover a mystery. It's a survival builder game in VR, so all the things you don't like are stacked together.
Fantastic. You know what, Lou? You don't listen to this show yet, but when you get to this episode, I'm thinking of you, buddy. This is your type of shit.
Synapse came up next. It was a VR game that it was just a world that was black and white, and then occasionally when people would use magic powers, it would have purple in it. It's coming this year. The trailer gave me no info to go off of other than you have magic powers to play around with, and the world is black and white with purple when magic is used.
Magic's usually green. I like purple.
Yeah. Well, magic is green when it's evil magic. Every villain is lime.
In Disney.
Not just Disney. It's a
that's
weird
how I know.
thing.
That's how I know Green Lantern is evil. Fuck you, Hal Jordan.
Then they showed Journey to Foundation, which is a game based on Isaac Asimov's Foundation books. The books frequently question the nature of humanity and where we'll end up in the years ahead, but this looks like just a standard space adventure game, so I'm not too keen on it, though I am keen on the universe it's in, so I might pick it up when we get a VR.
Okay. God, I can't wait for VR.
The next game is wild. Like, this is the kind of shit that I want VR stuff for. It's a game called Before Your Eyes. In the adventure, you can take your path forward by blinking, and each blink takes you further along a gorgeous story about learning to live and forging friendships along the way. You know, the stuff I like.
Yeah.
But it's like, you blink forward, it's not like blinking your eyes, don't worry. You won't get startled and suddenly be really far.
Like, oh, it's like a speck in my eye. Shit, let me get that out of there. Oh no, the game's over. Shit.
Then they showed the trailer for the Lightfall expansion to Destiny 2. There was like a space tyrant using their creepy powers to destroy a city. That giant space testicle, I don't remember what they call it, but the thing that gave them all the powers shot something out of it, and that was pretty cool.
So something shot out of the space testicle.
Yeah. It got its space nut off.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
They did another trailer for Chia. It's I don't know if I talked about it last week on the show, but I know I talked to you about it. It's the game where you can like possess different animals and objects around the place, and you can like possess an explosive and then hurl yourself as the explosive at an enemy and then disengage your possession so that it goes and blows up and you don't die.
That's gonna be wild. It sounds like, you know what it sounds like? Those mobile games where you're the gun and you have to like press the screen to shoot to manipulate yourself. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's
the vibe I'm getting.
The traversal and the feel I got was Wind Waker meets Breath of the Wild. You're taking a sailboat to explore new islands. You climb trees, use a glider to travel further. You can climb trees and then rock back and forth really heavily and use the trees to slingshot you a longer distance. And every object has its own way of like traversal. Like they possessed a teddy bear, and the teddy bear just kind of like it rolls, and because of its unique shape, it's like bouncing along, and since you're possessing it to give it momentum, it's going quicker and quicker. But you can also possess animals. This one we have a solid date on. It's arriving March 21st, 2023, and it'll be available for PlayStation Premium and Extra subscribers for free.
Oh man, an actual release date is kind of crazy in gaming.
And this one is not a VR game.
Oh, like I can play it. That's dope. We don't have a VR yet, you guys. I'm sorry, I can't review those yet.
A little frustratingly, Ghostwire Tokyo and Immortals Phoenix Rising are among the games that are coming for March this year too.
Well, you're just frustrated because you got excited a year ago.
It was so good.
It's pretty good. I've dabbled in it here and there in the last couple of weeks. I'll bring it up later.
Then they played a game from the creators of Tetris Effect and Rez. It's a sim-like game where you control a small dog wandering through great swaths of humanity, like millions of people. It's surreal, and I couldn't get a handle on what the gameplay is going to be. It launches in May, and it's called Humanity.
Oh, I don't trust anybody in that title. I said it.
Then there was this game called Goodbye Volcano High. It's like a exploration rhythm game taking place in a strange magical world, but there's like, I don't want to call them furries, like scalies. They're humanoid lizard people and maybe a dolphin person.
I've been on Twitter long enough to know that anthropomorphic lizard people do still get the hashtag furry on all the posts.
And there was Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, which is a remix mixing all of the previous Ninja Storm games into one. That includes the numbered entries as well as Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution, because they have Mecha Naruto in it. There are going to be new characters, but the story is likely going to be the same. It's coming out this year for PS4 and 5. What?
Fucking Mecha Naruto. Jesus Christ. What are you doing? Game. What are you doing, Shonen Jump? You don't have to have a mecha somebody and everything. Stop it.
It's not a Shonen Jump thing. It's just the game.
Naruto is
Like
a Shonen Jump thing. Like they signed off on the game.
no,
No,
they publish it, but they have nothing to do with the games.
they're the IP owner. They
No.
own the Naruto IP. Who owns the Naruto IP?
Shueisha, I think. Just like Studio Pierrot's who owns Dragon Ball. Like they own the publishing rights to, yeah, Naruto IP is owned by Masashi Kishimoto and Shueisha, which then they publish Naruto in Shonen Jump magazine from 1999 to 2014.
Okay.
Wow,
They
the
still
video
don't need a
game,
mech character and everything.
the plot of Revelations, it makes sense in it. Like there's someone who's trying to duplicate ninjas via technology, and it's horrible, but it's hilarious. Like the Mecha Naruto character is a joke character, but it has some pretty cool to watch special moves, and
That guy needs to know the lesson I learned from anime. All you have to do is believe in the heart of the cards or whatever the MacGuffin is. And that's
the
how you
power of
become a
friendship.
ninja. Yeah, that's how you become a ninja.
But coming this year for PS4 and 5, Baldur's Gate 3 finally got a solid actual real release date. See, it'll be arriving on August 31st of 2023. The state of play trailer for this was just letting us know that it's coming to the PS5. Showed off how intense the RPG gameplay is, and there were fresh adventures and a little bit of drama, just stuff that piques your attention basically.
A D&D game? Crazy.
New fantasy action adventure that's coming out. It strikes me as either a Monster Hunter or Souls game, but that just could just be because I was watching a large group of people fight a giant monster, but I don't know if I didn't get much detail of what the world's like, so it could just be a raid game. But
I don't know. I'll have to check it out because one of the tropes from my experience of the Souls genre is the idea that there's zero real assistance, like two people at the most. So a large group feels more exciting.
Well, that's Monster Hunter there. I was saying it felt like a blend of the two of them. It's called Wayfinder, and it lets you
I have
go
heard that
solo.
name. I do know the name.
Yeah, it lets you go solo or team up with friends to take on giant enemies in a magical world. The beta for the game is launching on PlayStation first, and you can actually Google Wayfinder and sign up for the beta.
Okay.
They confirmed 3 new fighters. I say new fighters. The 3 fighters that weren't confirmed before on Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Zangief was confirmed. Just like usual, he's a power-based wrestler with, meaty moves and body slams and throws. Then there was this girl named Lily, a fighter who harnesses the powers of spirits and uses twin clubs to hit you with combos, kind of like Maxi did in Soul Calibur.
I love Maxi.
And then they had Cammy, who is back with a much shorter hairstyle and a UK-inspired outfit, which is real confusing for me, but okay. She's still the same Cammy, kick-based moveset, gymnastic movement across the screen. Street Fighter 6 still coming out June 2nd, 2023. No delay yet.
Oh, give it 15 minutes.
Resident Evil 4, they had a fucking amazing looking trailer with a journey through a bloody castle and the same high drama as usual. It's Resident Evil 4, but it's a remake. Can't really say much other than that. March 24th is when it's dropping, so just under a month. And then Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. They had a major showcase for this. They had a gameplay trailer that featured a Brainiac corrupted version of the Flash, introducing the Suicide Squad to Hell, aka a Brainiac infested city. Each of the heroes, I'm gonna call them heroes because they're the Suicide Squad, the anti-heroes.
Protagonists.
Their combat and special abilities got to shine and help beat back the oncoming onslaught of enemies. Deadshot has access to a backpack that lets him float around and attack enemies, while obviously King Shark is much more ground oriented. Captain Boomerang has a ricochet-like bouncing ability. Harley Quinn can summon a giant cannon, and she has acrobatic leaps and swings. You can work in co-op to take on a variety of enemies or solo and work in tandem with your characters by just switching between them, like in the old days with Marvel Ultimate Alliance. There's a lot of, I forgot the word, banter. The Flash, while evil and under the control of Brainiac, is still his usual peppy self. Captain Boomerang is his usual Aussie self.
No, that guy.
Wonder Woman appeared in the trailer and forced Flash to admit the only way to end the conflict was to kill the Justice League. So they're really meaning to kill them. Drops on May 26th. There will be a battle pass included in the game containing cosmetic-only items.
Dope. Extra money, have it. I'm a sucker for cosmetics, guys. It's a problem.
Gear will be a major part, hence the conversation we had yesterday about how this is going to be essentially a loot shooter type game, but we love those here. So
we do. I want to like Borderlands more, so I'm like I'm not against looter shooters. I'm apprehensive about looter shooters because the two that pop into my brain are Borderlands and Destiny, and I'm like, ugh.
Anthem was a looter shooter.
What was
Anthem? And technically the Avengers game.
Yeah, the Avengers was the one that kind of got me on board with looter shooters. I've never played / heard of Anthem.
Anthem was an amazing project that failed miserably.
Ooh, that's not good.
One day I'll do a retrospective on it for our podcast.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Basically, in the future on a new planet, everybody has these suits that they can go into, and it's basically everyone's Iron Man.
Okay.
And it was beautiful, but there were so many problems, and it was so focused on microtransactions that it failed miserably.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. But after the date
reveal, was it EA? Did EA put this game out?
I actually think it was BioWare.
Oh, okay. Because that is EA's business tactic, so I assumed.
Well, EA owned BioWare for a while.
Ooh, there's that. EA Sports. It's in your wallet.
Yep. Developers, BioWare Austin and BioWare Edmonton. Publisher, Electronic Arts.
Oh, my God. Oh, fuck you, EA. Fuck you, bro.
To quote one topic at a time, Drew asked the question, me, pursues knowledge. But like as I was saying, gear will be a major part of the game. Each hero will have access to their own unique loadouts. You can customize weapons as well as outfits. One of the things I saw that was fucking ridiculously funny, King Shark can get a Superman suit. I
need that.
And Captain Boomerang can wear his ridiculous outfit from back in his comics days.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was quite a thing. The whole entire state of play was only 45 minutes. And I think like 20 of that was the weird while you're waiting screen with the music.
Yeah, you'll have that. Oh, man.
Did we talk about I Am Jesus Christ or last week?
We talked about that last week. No,
okay. They've got some more news about it.
Oh, my God. Murder me with it.
You can turn water into wine and you attend the Last Supper in it. So it goes all the way through the entire gospel.
Well, it's like a game. That's like 20 minutes. Like, how much is there to do?
Well, there's a lot. There's so many adventures and stuff. You gotta cure a blind guy. You gotta revive Lazarus.
Blind guy. You gotta raise the dude from the dead. You have to make an evil cult that's going to take over after your death and not listen to anything that you actually had to say. You got to turn water into wine. You got to do a wedding.
you got to flog people for selling stuff in the church.
You got to beat capitalists right before you become the god that they worship the most.
You gotta yell at a tax man in a tree.
Oh,
I don't know how this is gonna play out, but
the Gospels are so short as a source material for a game. But like, let's remember that they told the same story 4 times.
Each of them had spots the others didn't cover.
Yeah, tiny spots the others didn't cover. But it's at large the same story from like 4 or 5 different perspectives. And those are the ones that made it in. That's not even the ones that got cut because they didn't want women to speak.
Anyone who got Metroid Prime physical copies for the remaster, I'd hold on to it. The scalpers got a hold of them and they're selling them for $100 to $400 each.
Jesus.
Yeah. There will be a Starfield Direct showcase coming soon, according to rumors and Game Rant's Daniel D'Angelo.
I am interested to see if Starfield, because probably not, but if Starfield like has what it takes to make me interested in getting an Xbox. Because like at the moment, it's going to be like Elder Scrolls 6 before I'm like, all right, guys, we have to get an Xbox now. That or Fable, whichever one of those comes out first. But I love Bethesda titles, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. But I'm also we know how I feel about space. So we shall see.
You need more of it.
I don't. Need more. Is that a fucking Ada thing? Because fuck that
Yes.
bitch. Fuck her. Ugh. Biggest mistake of my life. And I'm almost 40. I've made a lot. Now, fuck her. I hated space before she got here. Fuck, can you imagine how I feel about it now? But no, like space stories, I find space stories very boring, very repetitive. It's like the same. By and large, there are exceptions here and there, but by and large, in my experience, space stories are the same, like 4 stories told over and over again from different, yay, we're human perspectives. There are, of course, exceptions, but fingers crossed on Starfield. We'll see how that goes and how excited I get for the release.
We should be getting a patch within the week that'll make Legend of Dragoon fully playable.
Fuck yes, man. I was so mad. So, we gushed 2 episodes ago about Legend of Dragoon coming out, how excited we were about it. And if you guys haven't played Legend of Dragoon yet, hopefully by the time you hear this, everything will be taken care of. But I guess they just plucked it from PlayStation 1 and just dropped it straight to PS5. And the problem with that is like the bugs that we're having are like known bugs that like people who play emulators are like patched out years ago. So like even if they had taken the info from the emulators that's posted anywhere, if you search Legend of Dragoon emulator, that would have prefixed all of these issues. They just chose not to. But the gist of it basically is if you use Dragoon magic that targets multiple targets, either healing, so multiple party targets or enemy targets, it will soft lock your Dragoons in the section of the like where they would go back to normal. So like if you use your last Dragoon level to cast, my experience was Astral Drain. Rose hits the enemy, heals the party, and then just sits there. And it's just soft locked in that scene because it doesn't transition her back to a human. And I tried doing it as like the final attack, and that's even worse. It's way bigger tease because you go into the back victory screen, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I got past it. And then you just sit on a black screen, and that is the soft lock now. There's other issues that I haven't experienced. There's people with audio glitches that are like cutting voices out in the middle of the combo attacks, which is a weird thing to complain about personally, honestly, because that's like the only voicing in the game. And they're like, but the voices aren't working. Like, be happy you have voices. This is 1999. We had Final Fantasy VIII was new. But what was the other one? It's like some kind of visual glitch. What's happening with that?
It was when you were fighting Fairbrand. There's one with Kongo where when the battle ends, Kongo disappears and you're still soft locked into the battle.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
And there's one when you're fighting Fairbrand where Fairbrand will hit your party and then disappear, and the people whoever was hit by the attack that caused it will keep taking damage until they die. Then it moves on to the next one.
Oh, that's not grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got through all of those. I just got Shada's Dragoon Spirit. I have not revived her from the dead because until they fix this soft lock issue, once she has Dragoon powers, I have to put her in my party because that's the healer now. Normally I do Rose because Astral Drain is good enough healing for the game for me. But if I can't heal with her, I have to heal with Shana one by one. I fucking hate that idea. I love Legend of Dragoon. Cast of characters is amazing. Maru is fucking annoying, but she's tolerable. Shana is a piece of dumpster fire garbage trash. I don't ever like her. I've never liked her in almost 30 years of this game being out. I'm never gonna like her. I don't fucking like her. She's garbage. Miranda is not better. She's just more likable.
You know what else came out that's another PS classic that was released same time and does not have game breaking glitches?
Oh, it's Wild Arms 2. Let's go on.
Oh, that's all I was gonna say. I haven't actually had time to sit down with it. I've been enthralled with the Dreamlight Valley and Soul Hackers too.
So, Robin, what you playing?
Variety of games actually. I've been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I've been playing Soul Hackers 2 still. I've been playing Ishin, which is the game that Drew got me as my birthday present.
While we were on air.
Yeah. Like a Dragon Ishin is another game by Ryu ga Gotoku, which I know that's the name of their production company, but that also translates to Like a Dragon. And in Japan, the Yakuza series is called Like a Dragon, which is why I laugh so hard at Yakuza 7 being called. Yeah, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm like, is that just in Japan? Did y'all just call this Like a Dragon, Like a Dragon?
Like a Dragon presents Like a Dragon, Like a Dragon. All right, I got it, guys. Calm down.
But that's gonna be the name apparently that all the Yakuza games are gonna release under over here, just to give them consistency, and their translation teams are gonna work more carefully to like get us the same type of things, which means that like the soap house mini games and events will be visible versus just being hinted at in the American version. It's basically you go in and you watch your gravure video, which is like a etchy video. I'm sorry, I'm using all these like Japanese terms.
words that people, our audience largely doesn't speak. It's like
Yeah,
America and Germany mostly.
I'm struggling to.
This is like a in personal life thing that we do as well, guys. So you're just being pulled in to our world a little bit here.
Gravure are videos where like girls in lingerie or topless, but nothing being shown, like sit there and smile and interact with you and stuff. And etchy just means like pervy, but not quite hentai type stuff.
I guess.
But these things were deemed as too sexual for Americans by America.
I feel like there's an old white dude involved with that decision, and I don't much appreciate his point of view.
This is too sexy. Yes, this is too sexy to prevent.
This is in fact too sexy for your TV. Get out of mine. Thanks, I hate it.
What I'm most looking forward to later this month, there's gonna be a new Trails game releasing, and I'm here for it. Well, it's not a new Trails game. It's first time it's coming to America.
It's a renewed Trails game.
Yeah. To everyone in America who didn't play the patched one by Geofront, it's new.
I haven't even heard those words in that order before, so brand new to me.
It's Trails to Azure. I've told you about Geofront. That was the translating group that I used to be part of. That one of our members died, and
they put his thing in the box.
Yeah, and I cried on a box.
I'm shocked, truly.
But this year has quite a few Trails releases, and we got to look at the remake of Atelier Marie, and it is the first game in the Atelier series, so this is pretty exciting, and I'm hoping that maybe if this does well enough, they'll do Iris, and then we'll get the Monachemia games, which is like Alchemist High School.
I hope one day,
yeah,
I find somebody who believes in me as much as you believe in Atelier.
I believe in you as much as I believe in Atelier.
I don't think so. You're like, hopefully it'll be successful enough to get all this shit here. And like, this is not a critique that says the game is bad, because that's not what I'm saying. I just don't feel like the required audience is in America to make it successful, if that makes sense.
They've been getting more and more successful is the thing. That's why they started doing more and more. Like, there are like 27 games in the series, and we had originally gotten 3. And then they were like, okay, we'll try the next trilogy. And when it got higher numbers, they were like, what if we simultaneously release these ones? And then when those casted, they were like, here's Ryza. So they're seeing that it's getting more and more successful. They were very nervous.
Look, if they see that it's getting more successful, who was the publisher on this series?
Dust, and I think Bandai Namco.
Okay.
Bear with me 1 second.
Sure. So whoever is responsible for this game being made and coming stateside, that is the information I require.
Yeah. I don't need the books. There we go. Amazon was like, would you like to buy all of the books?
He would. Amazon. Yes.
The publisher is Koei Tecmo.
Cool.
The developers were Idea Factory, Gus, Amazing, Van Presto. There were a lot of them over the years.
Okay, cool. Koei Tecmo, I know you can hear me. And I know that you can do this. Just give me a fucking English track. Please. Just, it makes it so much, not even that it makes it more playable, right? Because that's how I always word it. Because to me, it's harder for them to play if there's not an English track. I try to tell you so hard because you love this game so much. I'm like, well, it's got to be a good game because fucking Suikoden is another thing that we think. And like, putting on an English track makes it so much more accessible to the fucking audience. Like, because there are people that, like, once they hear, and I'm not even one of these people, like, once they hear Japanese, full disconnect, they're not even going to try it. just fucking give me just give me an English voice track, please. I'll be on it. Hire me. I won't even work for the same. Like, I'm not gonna charge you Chuck Huber rates, baby. Like, I work dirt cheap. Call me. Love you. But just give us an English track so that we can. So that's gonna make it more successful on top of all the other business strategies that they're doing, because it's just gonna make it easier for more people to play it.
They actually put out a poll because they did do English dubs up until Atelier Firis, and they put out a poll last February that was like, hey, do you want us to include English dubs? Because most players play it with the Japanese and complained when there wasn't a Japanese track before.
I don't understand games that don't put like any game. If I boot up a game, well, it's Plague Tales. Plague Tales is great for it. I booted up Plague Tales, same with Kingdom Come Deliverance. I booted that shit up, but they're like, hey, here's our 7 audio tracks. Which language do you want? That's fantastic. Give me English, Japanese, throw French on there, Italian. Why not? Wherever you're going to sell the game, put a native language track for that game.
Yeah, the reason they didn't do English after Firis was to speed up localization times, because especially with the pandemic, it was a big headache trying to get people into a studio to record. I'm hoping that
I record with my pants off right now. We can make it happen, guys.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Don't be. Some of you should be very interested right now. But yeah, if I can record this show with my pants off, and I'm the editor for the show, guys. Like, I am the one that makes it a tolerable quality, and you can tell that I'm not great at that job. So if you give this track to somebody who is great at that job, it's probably gonna sound playable. And you don't need a studio to do studio work anymore. You just don't. So especially not in like now, that's fully off the table as an excuse. It's largely been off the table as an excuse for a while. Like, I was in, Chuck, I was in class with Chuck Huber, and he was telling us about all these different studios that he's working with and doing stuff with, and he just does it all from his house in Texas. Like, you don't need to travel the world to be a voice actor anymore. You can, and it's dope. But if they're like, oh, we just can't bring people into studio, you don't need to. I just feel like to grow a game, you're going to have more success if you have a wider array of language options. Because like Ishin, I went to play Ishin because I love Japanese culture. I love especially if it's basically Yakuza in feudal Japan. I love that shit. But there's English subs, because we could pay Tom to do that over the course of a couple of years while we're developing the game. But as there's no English track, I was like, fuck, I hate this. I just picked the name Tom. I know his name's not Tom. His name's like Tom or some shit. I don't know. Tom. I work with a Tomas. I am convinced there's a Tom in every language. Nobody will change my mind.
Toma.
There we go. Yeah, Toma is in there doing subtitles. He pay one guy to do that instead of a voice team. But if you're going to voice over your game, voice it over multiple languages. It's just going to be better. It's gonna open up the floodgates for accessibility for the audience that you're trying to get. It just doesn't. Especially like
breaking news.
Like Ayuden Chronicle, I get it, right? They're a very small studio. This is their first major product. If they can't voice track in every language, I will understand. They are, by the way, not every language. Clearly, there's like 280 something of them. But they're voice tracking.
They want them to voice tracking Kosa.
Why not? But they're voice tracking like 7 languages, and if they could afford to do it, fucking Koei Tecmo can afford to fucking do it. There's no excuse. But I'm an asshole, so there's that.
I gotta take you off your soapbox real quick.
Yeah. Do the breaking news that came in, hopefully right this second.
Yeah. Dragon Age Origins writer calls for remaster with PS5 bells and whistles.
Oh, Origins?
Yeah. David Gator is wanting a full-on remaster of 2009's Origins.
Man, I don't know.
He says with PS5 era bells and whistles, that means quality of life improvements, graphics improvements.
It would need a quality of life improvement for sure. Because I just tried replaying Origins very recently, like a couple weeks ago, while I was waiting for Hogwarts Legacy to come out, and it's hard to play.
Just a VR game of Animorphs.
Please? Also, thank you. You know who's on board for that? Catherine Applegate.
Yeah, Applegate is the best.
For those, it's not, well, it is gaming related. There's an Animorphs game. It's like Sega Genesis or something. Check it out. It's hard, but it makes this conversation relevant. I got into voicing because I wanted to like listen to audiobooks of the Animorph books, and there weren't any. And there are. But I had already paid for my voice classes and had taken them, so there's that. But then Kay Applegate got on Twitter and she was like, "I don't make any money off the books anymore. Go crazy." No one, they like the IP doesn't belong. He's like, the IP doesn't belong to anybody, and now it can't. So just
it belongs to her, but the publishing rules were that it was going to be published by that company in perpetuity, and then that company went under, so no one's allowed.
Yeah, she can't do anything with them anymore. So she's like, just go down. Here's a link to download every Animorphs book I've ever written. Go nuts. So like, go to Kay. If you go to Kay Applegate's Twitter, and we don't have a big enough audience to make this a problem for her in this moment. But if you go to Kay Applegate's Twitter, just message her and be like, "Hey, do you have that link for all of your books?" And she'll just send it to you. She's fantastic.
You can Google it, and that'll get you to the Dropbox link she put up.
Or you can have a conversation with Catherine Applegate.
I think hers is set to where she has to be following you for you to message her.
Well, then that means she's following me, and I'm over the moon about that.
But let's see. When Rowling started coming out with all her transphobic stuff, and someone was like, what next? Are we going to learn that Kay Applegate's transphobic? Kay Applegate was like, I have a trans child who I love and support more than anything, so you will never have to worry about learning that about me.
She was just like, no, you're not.
Don't worry, that's not going to happen. I love you all.
Yeah, but she's fantastic. Emulator guys, go play that Animorphs game. It's a product of its time for sure.
It's a game.
It's a game that exists.
So, Drew,
me,
what you playing?
Oh boy, you guys know me. All right, right now. I am playing it left my brain, but we're back playing Octopath Traveler 2. I've been playing it every waking moment that I've had since it launched yesterday, and that's not been many. If I'm going to be honest, I work as a manager in the fast food industry. It is grueling 10-hour shifts every day. But I saw a review and I sent it to you a couple days before the game came out, and it said Octopath Traveler 2 better than the first, and I was like, that's ambitious. And I'm going to level with you, that guy was totally fucking right, 100%. And I really like Octopath Traveler 1. But Octopath Traveler 2 took all of the things that you liked about Octopath Traveler 1 and made them better. The cast of characters is more in depth. There is more voicing in the dialoguing. So every single character interaction is voiced over. There's no longer but the thing that kind of annoyed me in the smallest of ways about Octopath Traveler 1 was like in the beginning of each character's story arc, they would have their dialogues fully voiced and then just would randomly start only saying like the first 2 or 3 words in their speech bubble when they came up. And this one, the only time anything that's not voiced pops up is when it's like an NPC conversation. Those aren't voiced. They don't have Square money. They are Square. They do have Square money. I don't know why they chose to do it with Crisis Core, but not with Octopath Traveler. But it sounds better. It feels better. The characters are more connected than they were in the first game. So the first game, the biggest drawback to Octopath Traveler 1 is that it is functionally like 8 mini JRPGs contained within one game, and you just have the party of all of those main characters. With Octopath Traveler 2, there is like battle banter that changes based on who's in your party. Like they interact with one another, which is fucking awesome. Love it. They've added a couple mechanics. So there's like a latent power mechanic, and I can't even tell you what everybody's latent power is because I'm just now in the process of recruiting my 5th character. But like one character, she gets an additional turn when she uses latent power, so she can go twice. One character reduces the enemy's shield points no matter what attack he hits them with. So you can activate his latent power, boost 4 times, and just reduce 4 points of shield off of the entire enemy party if you have an attack. One of the magician's latent power, he takes a multi-attack and focuses it to a single target spell for like double damage. And who was the fourth one? I just got her latent power. Oh, so the beast character, the same thing as like the hunter in the last game. She gets like a special attack list that she can only use with latent power. So you hit the latent power button, it opens up a whole new thing. So like everybody's got a different thing that's uniquely them. The intro chapters, all of them so far, except for the hunter character in Octopath Traveler 2, they all have like NPCs. So like how you had NPCs in the first game that were like important to the story, but they left. And that first dungeon in Octopath Traveler is probably the hardest challenge in the game because you've only got one character to fight like a legitimate boss with. The NPCs that are important to you in these starter stories join with that fight as well, so that you have like a party and options, which was great. It just feels better. It feels better about all of the things that made Octopath Traveler 1 worth playing, and it doesn't feel like I haven't seen yet anything that I had in the first game that's not been applied to the second game. I really like the boost system. That's back completely unchanged. You still have the field mechanics. Fun thing with the field mechanics now all have a double use based on the time of day. So like daytime, you can steal from somebody, but nighttime, that same person ambushes people now instead. So, and you got a one button time change. You can switch between day and night on the fly. Doesn't affect your story. Doesn't affect anything like that. It's great. I love it. I haven't clearly had the time to get into all of the nitty gritty and to give like a full review on it. But from the 10 hours, probably 6, 7, maybe, that I've managed to play so far, big fan. Fully love it. This was a great investment of my time.
Glad to hear that.
Oh, it's so
I'm looking forward to getting my hooks on it soon.
Oh, for sure. And then let me go through my recent titles. All the Wild Arms, haven't started them yet. I got to get it past the shit I'm in the middle of now. Ghostwire Tokyo. So this is one of those games that I tried it because Bethesda. And yeah, we had talked a couple of months ago when you first played it about what it was about. And kind of like it. You know what the Bethesda did that made me really enjoy Ghostwire Tokyo?
What?
It's got a fucking English track. I love that. Thank you. I'm off. I'm gonna try to get off of the soapbox about it, guys. I'm sorry. But like it was that legit. Like I say it like that, like it's the running joke because that's what the episode's been, right? Me complaining about voice tracks. But it legitimately like 180 the game. For like the opening cutscene, I was like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna be able to play this game. And then I went through and I found in the menu and it was like English voice. I was like, oh thank God. Turned it on. I had to restart because this one doesn't just switch. It has you reset the whole game when you change any of those big settings like that. And then like as soon as I picked it back up, problem gone. I can play it. It's easy to follow the story. I like the voiceover work for the English characters. It 180'd me from like, I'm not going to be able to fucking touch this game to, okay, we can give this shit a shot. I'm not very far. I'm only like chapter 2. I haven't even unlocked outfit changes yet, which is a weird thing, really, that there's costumes in a game where you can't see your character, but it's fine. But no, I
done any yokai hunts yet?
No, I'm not there yet. I just got to KK's apartment.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not even to the point in the game where there's like more shit to open up because I started it right like the night that Hogwarts Legacy was going to release, and I played like 3 hours, and then the game released, and I was like, well, let me get in here and try this out. I'm gonna have to jump back and forth back into Hogwarts Legacy and get that finished. Hogwarts, the only reason I haven't finished that yet, I don't know if I talked about it on a previous episode or not, but it's like they did such a good job at building it as an open world that like sometimes I get like the exploration bug and I'll just spend 10 hours going from spot to spot to hit map points I haven't hit yet. And like at the end of that 10 hours, I haven't progressed the story forward. And I'm like, fucking, I need to take a break right now to go do some other shit. So gamer ADHD is torture, guys. It's not great. I've played everything. I haven't finished any of it. I'm trying real hard to be better, but I'm gonna focus real hard on grinding through Octopath Traveler 2 before I switch to something else, unless my conspiracy theory comes true, and then Octopath Traveler will also sit on the sidelines. But we will discuss my conspiracy theory after we discuss the upcoming March title releases. But that's all I've been playing.
There's a good amount of games You said that's all.
Well, I gamer ADD, bro. Like I can't. My brain's like, ooh, we should play that one. It's shiny and new.
I also spent a little bit of time playing Oninaki, but that game is just so depressing.
What is it about?
It's an RPG that's set in a world where when people die, you forget about them like they never existed. You're not allowed to grieve because if you grieve, it holds on to the memory of them.
Isn't that the same thing as Spiritfarer?
No,
Okay.
this is made, I believe, by the teams that made Lost Sphere and I Am Setsuna.
Okay. No, I was just saying that concept though, because that sounds familiar.
No, in Spiritfarer, you're just ferrying the souls of the dead. They're all very remembered.
Okay. Yeah, I could swear we just talked about a game where like, because I know Final Fantasy Type 0 is like that, but it was a game that we talked about more recently than that.
Yeah, it was probably Oninaki when I was starting to play it
When was that?
a couple weeks ago.
Okay, might have been. Alrighty, so what do we have coming up for March releases on games? I know we were going to talk about that.
We have quite a few games coming out in March. There's the game called Elephant coming March 1st.
It's a game about my mom.
God damn it. Fuck the Investigator.
Oh, fuck off.
It's a light cyberpunk game where it's a light cyberpunk point and click game made by Cowcat Games, which is a French game studio, where you play as an alligator man who is a private detective. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is coming out. It's a pretty good game. It looks beautiful, at least. Team Ninja's making it. It's published by Koei Tecmo. Basically, it's trying to think of how to put this into words. It is a Chinese martial arts swordplay game.
Okay.
We have Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni. Peaky Blinders is coming out for Quest and PC VR. Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure coming out March 14th. That Bayonetta Origins game that we talked about is coming out on March 17th.
Hell yeah.
And Atelier Ryza 3 is coming out March 24th.
Calm down.
Total Tank Generals is coming to PC on March 30th. Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out March 24th on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. The Last of Us is coming to PC on March 28th.
Oh, it only took them like 7 years.
Yeah.
PC games are the best, guys. Calm down. Look, all I'm saying, right? And I say this in every conversation where they decide to put themselves out there. They didn't put themselves there this time, but only because they didn't have the chance. We both know that. When PC gamers pop into any kind of conversation, I just want to point out there's only one other group of people that calls themselves the master race. And that's problematic behavior, kids.
There's Storyteller that's coming out on March 23rd for Windows and Switch. It's a puzzle video game where you basically build the game, like you build your story and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it being published by Annapurna, which is really exciting because they publish really great games.
Oh, okay. That's the first I'm hearing about them. All right. And is that all that we have for March releases?
Yeah.
Is it though? So here's my conspiracy theory team. I'm pretty sure. Now we're going to go ahead and put the caveat up front so he doesn't have to shut me down in the middle of my build-up. But this is wishful thinking, pure and true. But I think the Suikoden 1 and 2 remake, remaster, to be honest, remaster. If it was a remake, I would weep. Remaster is going to launch in the first couple weeks of March. Now, this isn't just me being like, I sure want Suikoden real fast. Or not fully, at least. So if we go to the Suikoden remaster page on Steam, if you look at the change logs for Steam's updates, they initially had it posted as a release date of March 2nd, 2023. And then later, like a month after the announcement, they changed it to just 2023. And then this is the one that most of the Suikoden community knows about. Yes, we have a community. Calm down. Not you, them. People like, oh, you Suikoden fans have a community? Is that what you're telling me right now? Yes, we do. Most of the Suikoden community is aware that there is a realtor in France.
Retailer.
They knew what I meant. They didn't think it was a house flipper in France that was going to go with this information that I have.
I always got to be sure because some people might.
If they do, I hope they're enjoying me roasting the absolute shit out of everything they've ever loved. There's a retailer in France, FNAC, who put up, you just go to pre-order the French version of the Nintendo Switch copy of Suikoden 1 and 2, and it's had a March 9th release date the whole time. Still does. I checked it today. Still up there. So I am hopeful / conspiratorial / let me believe it, that Konami is like, we're going to release this in the beginning of March. And Steam was like, cool, we'll let everybody know. And they're like, no, shut up. Because Konami doesn't want us to feel happiness. They just want our money. It's the only reason we're getting this. But, what?
Time for my analysis.
Okay.
They had originally planned on having it out by that date. They have a delay to where they're not sure when it'll be out, so they remove the date, as is common.
I don't think so, though. Because, like, what else are they waiting on? They've gotten we've seen the fucking visual changes are finished. I don't think they're making any audio changes that they've announced. Like, I wouldn't put it past Konami to just not tell us before the game comes out. We'll just know when it's out. I'll know when I get an email from Steam, like, here's the item on your wish list is available.
I'm hoping you're right, but I've learned to temper all hopes.
Well, abandon all hope, ye who enter here, is what it says on the Statue of Liberty now when you come to America for the first time. So
it would be fucked up.
It would be fucked up, but it would be more accurate. If you haven't been to America, visit. You'll see what I mean. And then go home and tell everybody how wonderful your home is. Because we would like to be in your home, wherever it's at. I don't care. Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. But yeah, I'm like, with Suikoden, I have to have hope, right? Because like I had hope we would get relaunches. I had hope that Konami would do literally anything with this IP. Literally anything. For like, when did Suikoden 5 come out? Like 15 years? Almost 20 years ago? It came out 2005, almost 20 years ago. My daughter is 16 and will be getting her driver's license this year. And Konami has not touched this franchise in America since before I met her mother. The time disparity between is absolutely insane. So I wouldn't put them past it. I wouldn't put it past Konami to just do it to fuck with us. So you remember I waged the whole one-man war on Konami about bringing my game back. And the point is to have hope. You can have hope. I had hope for longer than my child has been alive, and I finally got something. It's amazing. But that said, on top of it, I was looking at their Twitter today because the weirdest things bring me joy in a world where I'm by myself almost all the time. And I love the new character art. It's new, but it's the same. It's just like where a lot of games, Star Ocean First Departure is a good example, where they just put like brand new, or no. Better example is Chrono Cross, where they just put brand new, sometimes drastically different art representation of the characters up. The Suikoden one, they are the same style. It's just updated and clearer and not as pixelated. And I fucking love that. I love that so much. I don't know how I feel about the font.
Speaking of Chrono Cross, there's been a patch release to make whatever the problems were with it, with the remaster.
I don't even know what the problems were. I played the remaster. It felt exactly like the old game. I think people are just like, it should be better. It felt identical to the old game with just ramped up graphics. But yeah, I mean, yay. It's been almost a year because it came out when I was still working at the hotel. But
it's been over a year.
Yeah, I'm glad that the people who wanted a patch got a patch. I am sad they waited this long. And I am glad as a Legends of Dragoon fan, I'm not going to have to wait this long because I would have been a mad fat boy. Ooh, boy, howdy, would I have been pissed off. But yeah, I'm excited about Suikoden. Obviously, I told them before, I was like, I'm going to gush about Suikoden. If they're not ready, they just haven't listened to the show. Very hopeful about this coming out in the very near future. I need it to come out in like March because I need my time with it. Because if they have the fucking audacity
release it in June
to release this fucking game in June, bro. Oh, but I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna knock on a door at Konami. Someone's gonna answer me. Now you have to go so that you can tell me what they're saying. And you don't lie. Don't you try to calm me down with bullshit. But if they release this game when 16 comes out, we're getting answers. And also don't mistranslate my questions, motherfucker. Oh, I'll go straight to the electric company. Be like, what is your problem? Why do you hate me?
It's you specifically.
It has to be. At this point, I would believe it. At this point, I would believe it, honestly. Because, like, I've been, like, you guys don't understand how bad my Twitter was. When
I just feel fucking sad for the PES team.
Don't. Fuck them.
They had nothing to do with it.
They're getting games. I don't care. I don't care.
And then you were going after the PES Spain?
I'll go after any Konami IP that is getting attention while Suikoden is not can catch these fucking hands. I don't care. I like soccer. Like how dare you, Konami as a whole? That's I'm not attacking a specific gaming division in this moment. Konami, the gaming division of Konami. Konami, how fucking dare you make me wait 20 years for a new Suikoden? Longer, honestly. It's going to be longer because if they announce Suikoden 6 tomorrow, it's not going to come out until after 2025. How fucking dare you make me wait 20 years for a Suikoden game and you continue to produce sports content? How fucking the balls on you? I know Chad is going to buy your fucking soccer game because he's never fucking been inside his house before until he got his broken leg at practice, and now he's got to, and the only thing he knows is soccer. So let's look and play some PES, bro. But how dare you? EA makes sports games. That's who. Let them do what they fucking do. You can make
so
good
much
shit.
better than FIFA.
What? I don't care. I don't care. Is it a sports game? Does the roster need to be updated every fucking year? Yeah. Is it like a slightly more graphically enhanced version of the shit that happened last year? Almost universally, yeah. It's a sports game. You know what would make a great sports game? And sports teams, feel free to steal this idea. If you want to pay me, that'd be great. It's a one-time fee. You can have it. Make your sports game and then release the fucking updates as fucking patches every year. Fix the fucking roster. Adjust. Add your characters. If Street Fighter can add characters and patches, you can add fucking players and patches. Put out one game like every 5 years. Update that bitch 4 times. Put out a new game. Don't make me sit through another. I don't know if they've still done this because I don't have the football people in my life since I was on my Tom Brady strike. Like, I don't fucking, there's no reason for me to sit through another fucking Madden launch every year for the same football game with the same controls, slightly better graphics. There's no reason. And the sports guys, they'll play a game that's been out for 5 years. I know that because the sports guys are also the Street Fighter guys. And one of my Street Fighter guys, let me look at my TV. Yep, playing Street Fighter 5 right fucking now. Right now. If you just release Madden and plug in an update every 12 months, they'll just keep playing. And you'll get your attention. You'll get your time. You'll get your people. You can charge for that update. Charge $30 for the patch and watch how fast you make that money. These guys play games made by EA Sports. They're used to paying for everything. That would make sports games way more tolerable for the other 98% of us that like have brain stems and want to know what the fuck is like need a story to be engaged. And I'm not saying football fans that you don't have a brain stem because you're football fans. I'm saying you have CTE because football is your whole life. But fuck, you can do sports games better than they're doing sports games. It's silly. Like even sports fans don't like the way they do sports games right now. It's absolutely nuts. There's no reason for me to go buy like how much if I went to a GameStop right now. Let's pick a name out of a hat. Final Fantasy 12. The Zodiac one that way. It's in a GameStop. How much would Zodiac Age cost at a game store right now?
Looking right now.
Yep.
Between $9.99 and $28.51.
Okay. So we'll ballpark 28. It's GameStop. They're gonna try to get you for a fucking nickel. We'll say 28. Fucking Madden 2021 shit's like $4. It's silly. like old sports games, and old in sports games terms is literally whichever the last one before the newest one. They have their price drops so drastically after that first year that like Dante, my son is 10 years old. He could just go buy Madden. He has that much money right now. He could just go buy not the latest one because sports is sports, but the one right before that, he could just go buy that shit with the money he has in his pocket. He's 10 years old. Like they have no longevity and no replayability. You always have to stay on top of the next one. And I get that's how these companies make their money, and it fucking pisses me off. Feels like predatory business practices all day long. But I don't know how I got on this fucking rant, but we can do better sports games. We can do better. I remember. Because I spent a year on Twitter arguing with fucking Team Konami because they're putting out fucking soccer game 37,226 instead of finishing off. Do you know how many loose ends are in Suikoden? Way more than 108. Close my fucking. If you're not gonna make another game, give me Suikoden 6. Tie up my fucking loose ends. Find a way to finish the stories you started. If you're not gonna fucking invest yourself, Jesus Christ. Or even better, sell the fucking IP to somebody who will. Like I tweeted off of our Twitter at Level Grind Pod. The same concept for television. True TV. If you're not doing shit with Adam Ruins Everything, can Adam Conover just have it back? Because he'll do something with it. People who like that show will be able to watch it again. I hate that like a company can just get an IP and get you invested with it and just drop it and not do fuck all with it ever again. Like I wish there was like a 3-year time frame. Like if you're not doing shit, you got 3 years, and then this shit can go up for sale to somebody who wants to do something with it. That would be fan-fucking-tastic. I'd be so excited about that. And there used to be shit like that, because I remember we've got a couple very shitty B movies from Marvel like in the 70s because they had to do something to show that they were still using the IP so that they could maintain it. And if gaming could do something like that, just use the fucking IP, do something with it that's not a pachinko machine, you fucks. I'm sorry, guys. I get frustrated by this shit. I hate getting real deep into a series, and then they're like, nah, I'm just done. She makes me mad.
Drew is a very passionate person.
The things I love, I fucking love. And the things I hate, sports and Call of Duty, fucking hate. I'm a creature of passions. That's certainly for sure. I'm definitely a creature. Definitely a creature.
Definitely.
Oh, man. Okay. Was there anything else you kind of wanted to grab onto, touch on, riff off a little bit?
No, we went over everything.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it, which is fair. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I have to be at work in less than 8 hours. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and cut it here, guys. We absolutely love you. Hot new news. Our YouTube is up. So it's all of this, but you've heard how great I am at editing of the audio. Just imagine how good I am with the video. It's not great, guys. It's just a landscape plays in the background. But it's this in another platform, something you might use on a more daily basis. It's going to make it easier for you to access. Because as we've learned in this podcast, I'm very passionate about making sure that your audience can access your content. Japan, fuck. Sorry. So we're on YouTube now, youtube.com/@levelgrindingpodcast. You can find us on there. All of the episodes, including this one, will be up live on our YouTube. I've got that built in a playlist. If you want to play them all and listen to our voices, I don't know why you would love that, but thank you so much. Again, check all of our links out. Linktree is in the podcast description. It's also in the description for all the YouTube videos. It's going to take you to all of our places. It's going to take you to our Etsy store for our merchandise. We have a Level Grinding logo shirt up there now. It's got a QR code if you want to help everybody find your favorite podcast, or at least a podcast you kind of like more than you don't. That'd be dope. It's got a link to our Patreon if you want to help support us and get it to where we can make the best content for you guys possible. That is a great way to do that. We absolutely appreciate any and everything you guys can do to get us in front of more people so that more people can hear me get upset about the gaming culture. That's what you tune in for, just to listen to my blood vessels burst. I'm aware. Again, check out our Magic the Gathering affiliate, Guire Gaming. Their link tree is also in our description. And then, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. I manage all of those. If you don't see much on Instagram, I am sorry. I'm very old, and I'm working on getting hip to the
We're a podcast. There's not really much visual.
I make the visual. Every picture that you see, the thumbnails on the YouTube, I made those. The logo, I made that. And my art skills are shut up, Canva. I'm great. I'm great at what I do.
Be on the lookout for our okay, cool, frustrated Drew shirt.
all right, fine, cool. I need to get somebody to draw me. I don't think there's a clip art that looks like me. I'm gonna see though. I'm gonna see if I can find a clip art of me angrily walking away.
You remember that old phone filter, the selfie filter that would make you look like you were drawn with a pencil?
Yeah.
You could just do that.
Yeah, but we gotta like. I want to get like an honest shot of that, of me like legitimately like, fuck it, I'm done. And I don't know how easy that's gonna be to get. Oh, we could use my one picture that I send people from the one Viking show where it looks like I'm angrily walking away. That'd be kind of good. See what we can do. Might be another shirt up by the time you guys get to the Etsy. Well, that gives you our Etsy, our Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email to email us directly. All of that is in the link tree. We absolutely love you guys. I'm going to give a couple shout outs here real fast. Shout out to Kyle. I love you, buddy. I know you're like one of the only people that subscribe to us on every single platform that we're available, and I love you for that, brother. Shout out to April, one of the very first people who I know for sure listens to every single episode. I know that because when we get long breaks between, like when we had that 3-week break between the episodes, she texted me at one point and was like, "What are you doing in another episode?" All right, calm down. And then a shout out to my little brother, Steven. He is a big fan of the show. Currently, this weekend is at a Comic-Con somewhere. I don't know where. He hasn't answered me in 2 days, so I'm imagining there's not a lot of signal out there. But he's printed up flyers to put into bags of all of his Pokemon card sales so that more people listen to the show. So we will be talking about TCGs in the near future. Collectible mini games we'll be bringing up in the near future. We'll probably always predominantly do video games and tabletop because that's what we universally love to do the most. But we're going to try to get you guys as much coverage as we possibly can. If you want level grinding flyers, I love you. Email me. I will send you a file so you can print level grinding flyers, or a PDF so you can post them on your sites or your social media, whatever you want to do. We absolutely love it, appreciate, adore any and every tiny bit of support you guys send us. You cannot wrap your minds around what it means to us, for really and truly. That being said,
questions or anything?
Yeah,
like
please.
If you got Q&A or you want to hear what we think of something,
I'll be honest, email us or YouTube. That's going to be a great platform for that. Your YouTube comment section. I am very lonely. I'll interact with you guys all day long. Very legitimately. I mean that with zero humor in my tone. YouTube is going to be great for that. Email me. Send us messages on our Facebook group, Twitter, anywhere you can do it. I check all of those, but as soon as they get to me, I will send them to Robin and we'll get back to you guys as fast as we possibly can. So 1-to-1, you message me, I'll get a hold of you up until, hopefully we get successful enough that'll be harder to do, but we'll try to manage that when that time comes. But what do you want us to talk about? I mean, what opinions do you want on us to talk on? I am very open to doing a Twitch stream at some point. I'll let you guys decide what game. I know that Steven very specifically is very, very on board with me setting up he told me to do it like a subscriber challenge. Once we get to a certain level of subscribers, I'll play a Call of Duty on stream. And he's like, "Oh, I'm subscribed for that." Yeah, you're definitely my brother, asshole. Please, every god in all of the religions, please come interact with us. We want it. We love it. We're here for it all day long. That being said, I'll stop the begging and proselytizing at this point. I will just remind you guys that it is always important to gather your potions, make sure you're well equipped, and keep on going.